Hello and welcome to Acoustic Northeast. I am George Malice.
And I'm Dave Goldenberg.
We are both singer-songwriters located in the Northeast.
Be more specific?
Okay, Dave. The Northeast United States.
Yep, and welcome to our introductory podcast, which we're launching to bring you singer-songwriters who we think deserve your attention when they come play at one of the great venues here in the Northeast.
Northeast U.S.
All right.
And we encourage you to stream their music and visit their websites. We'll bring you artists you may not know, but that we feel you should know. There's a vibrant singer-songwriter scene in the Northeast, but it also flies a little below the radar.
So we're bringing them above the radar. Each episode will feature live, in-studio performances you won't hear anywhere else. And we always welcome your feedback at acousticnortheast@gmail.com.
And also visit us online at acousticnortheast.com and follow us on our Facebook page and also on Instagram.
So who do we have for our premiere interview, George?
We have Brian Larney, a great singer-songwriter from Connecticut.
My home state.
But don't call Dave a nutmegger.
No, that name's really kind of lame.
Today's episode is brought to you by hearitthere.com and also by WBXO Radio, streaming at WBXO.com.
And don't forget to hit subscribe. Okay, here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Acoustic Northeast. We're coming to you from the studios of WBXO Radio in Hopewell Junction, New York. Our engineer is Hugh Curtin, and I am your host, George Malice, along with my buddy over here, Dave Goldenberg.
Hello.
So today in the studio, we have a Connecticut singer-songwriter, Brian Larney. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hey.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Glad you're here. Yeah, we're doing good. What's going on with you? To give us a little background on who Brian Larney is.
Who Brian Larney is?
Yeah.
Hopefully Brian Larney is a singer-songwriter and making his way through the world, man. Just doing songs and trying to get as much stuff out as I possibly can. And,
okay.
And perform and do all the other stuff that we all do, So.
Well, you've been at this quite a while.
Yeah.
You got about 5 albums out at this point? 6 maybe?
I think it's 6 or 7, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
You better update your website then.
Does it say 5?
Yeah.
Well, we're all really bad with
But you got a new album out. Tell us about Scrambler.
Yeah, Scrambler is I'm super excited about it. It came about because of this. You guys have probably heard about it. People are doing singles now, right? So, and the whole thing is, try to do a single every 6 weeks, 8 weeks, once a month, whatever. So at the end of 2022, I said, well, I'm going to hold on the albums. I'm going to try this new technique. And then I couldn't get out of it. It's like a hamster wheel. It's really challenging because as the weeks go by, you start to get this little thing on the back of you, behind your head, kind of breathing down your neck. You got to get the song out, So you get into this habit. And the last thing on your mind, at least this is my experience, the last thing on my mind was putting together a cohesive thing. You think in terms of the next one. It's kind of a strange thing. So in any case, the reason why I'm saying that is about halfway through the summer of 2025, I thought, these past 5 or 6 songs I'm actually making an album, right? Inadvertently. So what I decided to do is when I reached 10 or 11, I was like, let me put them all together into an album. So I looked it up, and there's people who call that a waterfall technique. You may have heard about this.
I haven't.
Where you build an album over time through singles, and then you release the whole thing as a collection.
So you released each of these as you recorded them?
As I recorded them, exactly. And then I put them together at about 3 weeks ago is when it got released as Scrambler. And I had come up with a title, long ago, and I kind of put it all together. And it came together, and I was nervous. I was like, is this going to work? And I love it. I'm really excited about it. I'm really proud of it. So it's a dynamite album. Why don't you give us a track? You're going to play something live, so why don't you give us one that you want to from the
kick off
album?
with?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us and preface it with let everybody know what it's, however you want to preface it.
Okay, yeah. So this is a song that's sort of about my alter ego, as it were. People who know me know I've become quite the teetotaler, but yet inside there's this raging party animal, and so this is a song about him, and it's dedicated to him, and it's called "All Over It."
Incomplete if it's bad for me, I'm all over it, all over it. Case in point, hand over the joint, I'm all over it, all over it. And before I think to put down that drink, I'm all over it, all over it. Order me a Big Mac, don't forget the heart attack, I'm all over it, all over it. With a quart of Coke and later a smoke, I'm all over it, all over it. And the hotel key, late night porn on TV, I'm all over it, all over it. To the nth degree I indulge endlessly, I'm all over it, all over it, all over it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you, thank you.
Raging teetotaler.
I'm a raging teetotaler. That's me. I had a ginger ale last night. Can you believe it?
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Straight up?
straight up.
How did you feel this morning?
I was a little shaky, but I got through it, man. I can
Bubbles,
do
the
it. I can do
bubbles,
it.
So, your latest album, Scrambler, credits a producer Brian Larney.
Yes.
I've met him. He's very good. Tell me, I mean, your music is very polished. It's not like some guy sitting at home with a voice memo. What is your production process like?
Wow. Well, it varies depending on the song. But most of the time, what I'll do is if I'm not using a live drummer, which I do sometimes, they will send me tracks back and forth, and then I'll start there and build up. Or I'll have somebody come over beyond that and play bass for me, or I'll play bass, or I'll have, and then I'll do the guitar and the keys, and it's just, one thing after another. And
they're working from your scratch track, I guess?
yeah, just work from the scratch track. Sometimes I work up a demo so it sounds almost complete. And so if I'm working with other people, I send them stuff that sounds pretty good, because I know I'm influenced by the way things sound. So if somebody sends me something that doesn't sound that great, I'm not going to necessarily do my best work, because I'm not working against a good foundation, if that makes sense. So I try to get it as close to that as I can. And then, I think after that, it's, we'll do the vocals and do the harmonies and,
and you're a multi-instrumentalist. You play guitar, keyboards.
Yeah, bass, and, and I can program some drums, and I can do that kind of stuff. So I kind of get all the bases covered, for what I need in my music. So.
Let's talk a little bit about the programming part of it. Over the years, the tools available, especially to home creators, have increased to the point where now you can just give it an AI prompt and say, write me a hit song about sobriety.
Right.
So Where do you draw the line? When does it go from being something that you create to something that's just collaborating with artificial intelligence?
I don't know. This has been a challenge for me, and I imagine for every musician going. It's a real hot topic now all over social media. People are fighting and arguing and discussing it, as it were. For me, I guess it would be the songcraft comes first, and it comes first in everything I do. So I'm more interested in writing songs, and that includes the melody and the lyrics, and then a lot of times the setting. So arrangements follow that as well. So when you start to get into that category, when you start generating words or generating melodies or even performances for you, that's kind of where I draw the line. So it's weird. It's almost hypocritical. It's a challenge to sort of balance it out in my head. By the same token, I will use a MIDI drummer. Somebody who's recorded into a MIDI device, or I'll program it myself with my keyboard. If I have to, and so I don't know if that's the same thing. So the lines are getting blurred. But so to me, the line is generating the song essentially. So.
Generating the song overall as but if let's say you wanted a flute track and you don't play the flute,
right.
And let's say you don't like the MIDI tools that are available to you,
right?
Is it cheating to go to an AI tool and say, "Give me a flute track that goes with this"?
I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that.
So we're not going to resolve this today.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
no, I think
hoping.
It would be cool if we could just solve the world's problems in one half hour.
But that takes out the creativity of the flute track.
Right.
Yeah. So if
you
go to AI, then you're using AI's creativity to make a track for your song. So I say it crosses the line. I'm going to go there.
Okay, I have not done that yet, so for me, it's still crossing the line. I have not tried that. Yeah,
and actually, people have been using drum tracks though for decades or more.
Right.
So
I think that's different.
How?
Because it's drumming, and I don't mean to
degrade any
No,
because it's a recording of a human.
Or anything.
I think what you're saying is somebody actually played it at some point.
Yeah, right? I mean, I think that's different than actually writing a flute part or writing a guitar part. I think that's, I think it's quite a bit different, actually. And like I said, I'm not here to degrade drummers.
Yeah.
Because drummers are very creative in how they play.
Right.
But the drummer's giving you a beat, and you can do that beat to, on your keyboard or whatever. Right.
I guess I didn't even think of it that way. I am playing a beat, as it were, on the keyboard. But it's a challenge, and it's funny. We've accepted so much in technology, and now we've reached this new thing that's come in, and it's making me question a lot of that stuff. And like we were chatting on the way up here. I feel like, am I going to just totally reduce everything down to it absolutely has to be 100% natural now? Am I going to jettison some of the tools that I've already used? My piano, I have a digital piano, right? Is it real? Where do we draw that line?
It better be, because that's what I play.
I think people expect from singer-songwriters, they expect authenticity, and they'll forgive a little less polish.
Right.
I think.
Right.
Just in exchange for the feeling that they're connecting emotionally with the creator. So we've talked about videos on this podcast before, and you've shot some videos. Tell us about how you go about creating a video with your music.
Video turned out to be really fun for me. I sort of resisted it like everybody. It's just like, it's too much work, it's too much money, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But I realized that I have to do it, and at some point probably.
Why do you feel you have to do it?
Because I want my music heard, and music is seen as much as it is heard now, and it's been like that for decades at this point. And so, and there were tools and places to put it that didn't used to be there. Like even just putting up on YouTube in the mid 2000s, you could do it. And you could send people there at a minimum. Not that a magic audience would find it, but you could certainly say, here's my video, go look at it. Yeah, I'll give you a funny story. I was buying my car in 2017. I had made a video, and somebody I was working with got it involved with some company. I don't even know how, but I was talking to the dealer, and I look up, and they have TVs all over the place, and my video was playing.
That's great.
It was wild, and he's talking to me and I was distracted, and he's like, "Are you like here?" Kind of. He was like, "What do you?" I'm like, just go look at the TV. I'm like, my video is on your television. You know? So it was a very funny thing, and it was some like local, like, you know, Norwalk Plays Music or something that they had somehow licensed at the dealership, and they were playing it. So anyway, I'm way off track of what you asked, but I decided a long time ago I want to be in on that. So whatever I needed to do to get a video out when I felt like I wanted to do one, I would do. So sometimes I would work with, you know, teams that would cost a lot of money. You know, sometimes I'd work by myself, or I'd have a friend. I have a videographer friend. His name's Eric Sanders. He lives 2 doors, or, you know, basically a block away from where I live, you know. So he's the kind of guy, I'd be like Sunday afternoon, I'm like, dude, look at the clouds. They look really good. You know, he's like, let's go in the car and let's go to the cemetery and shoot some stuff, you know, and we'll do that sometimes. So sometimes I do that. Sometimes I use stock footage because I'm part of a, what do you want to call it? A library. I subscribe to a library where you get really good footage. You know, sometimes I'll use that. It depends on the song, and it's something I really enjoy. It's almost the same as producing a song. It kind of itches the same or scratches the same itch. You know, the tools are similar, and it's it's fun.
People like it. You know, if you post, say if you're posting one of your new songs on Facebook, some people might click it, but if you're like, oh, there's a video, you know, and then they're sitting there, oh, let me see Brian's video or whoever's video. I think people tune into that a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that's natural. I think that's where we've been for a long time now. It's a visual world, and everything's social media too. So if you don't have a visual, you know, or at least a cool picture to look at, I don't think people are going to bother, you know, or as much, I shouldn't say.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I wanted to change subject a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're a singer-songwriter, but you don't classify as folk in my book.
Nobody's book.
At all. You know, and you write, at least in my estimation, you write like somebody in the 60s and 70s writes.
Right.
You are extremely hook-oriented.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And personally, I love it. I mean,
thank
I
you.
grew up on pop. We all grew up on that pop stuff.
Right.
And you do that naturally, I believe. You come up with great hook lines. You know, one of the songs that you have on the new album is "Wake Up Dreaming."
Okay.
And I'm like, whoa. You know, that was just that hit me at the time, the first time I listened to it, and I was like, great hook.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm obsessed with what some classify as sunshine pop. You know, the '70s stuff. I love the great writers. You know, Herb Alpert. Not Herb Alpert. I'm sorry. He's one of them too. But why is my brain dead?
It's because we're older.
This guy's in love with... No, that's Herb Alpert.
This guy's...
Anyway, I love all that stuff. And what's weird is I have this...
Burt Bacharach stuff.
Burt Bacharach, thank you. I
I
can't believe I couldn't think of that name. He's one of my idols.
Yeah, Paul Williams, right.
Paul Williams, yeah. So I love all that stuff. And it's deceptively simple. You know, people tend to think of it as like, you know, it's kind of lighthearted. It's cotton candy. Fairly complex, actually. I mean, listen to a Carpenter song. That stuff's well written, well produced.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and you go on a mini journey in 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and you get taken somewhere. That's amazing to me. You don't get that from like a 6-minute opus. You know.
No, you don't.
You know, it's a whole other thing. And the fact that they can do that and such. The Beatles, obviously, right?
Sure.
You know,
you leave them wanting a little bit more. You make your point, you get in 2.5, 3 minutes, and you're out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always been my thing.
And I noticed when I was listening to this album that most of your stuff is 2.5 to 3.5 minutes tops.
Perfect.
Because who wants more?
Well, you'd be surprised.
we know writers, we know songwriters, singer-songwriters that write, you know, epics.
Right.
You know,
right.
And after 4 minutes, you know, people are looking around the room, and they're like, "Okay, how much longer is this going to keep going on?"
Right.
You know?
Right. And I'd extend that to shows too. I'm going to share a quick story that's kind of funny. I've been to millions of shows like we all have, you know, all over the place. And some of them go on a little long. I got to be honest with you. I'm like, even my favorite acts, I'm like, come on, guys. You know, I'm like, you know, stop the 15th encore. You know, I'm done. You know, I don't want to hear it anymore. So anyway, I went with a friend to Irving Plaza to see the Toadies from the '90s. I don't know if you guys remember them, but they had a hit record. They were, you know, that quasi grunge era kind of stuff. And I remembered the song, so I said, yeah, I'll go. Wonderful night. Parked directly in front of Irving Plaza, open space, right there. You know, walked in, got a drink. The band goes on as soon as we get there. They played 45 minutes. Thank you, good night. It was the best night ever. Wow. Because it was good. They rocked, you know, and they got their point across, and we all went home happy. You know, it wasn't bludgeoned. It wasn't like, you know, driving home at 3:00 in the morning going, oh, I'm so tired. You know, it was a good night.
Our friend songwriter Don Lowe says, go on stage, be great, and get off. So George talked about Wake Up Dreaming, which is a wonderful song, and it has a terrific video, which people should look up on. Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube, yeah.
So why don't you give us that song?
Sure. Happens to be in the same key. I'm kind of... You know.
In a dream, breathing in mountain air, I could have sworn I felt you were there. Daylight slumber, Endymion and Celine. At night I hold on, hope you come for me. When I fall asleep thinking of you, or wake up dreaming. Fall asleep thinking of you, I wake up dreaming. Lord of my dreams, my prayer to Morpheus, the hidden truths be told to the two of us. Night meets day, I'm not sure what to believe. Is this physical or reverie? When I fall asleep thinking of you, I wake up dreaming. When I fall asleep thinking of you, I wake up dreaming. I wake up dreaming. When I fall asleep thinking of you, I wake up dreaming. When I fall asleep thinking of you, I wake up dreaming. I wake up dreaming.
Very cool.
Nice.
Thank you.
I love that song. It's so catchy. And like you said, there's a video to that. Check it out on YouTube, Brian Larney. The hook is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Because it just, it reaches out and it grabs you, as you want any of your songs to do. I wanted to see if you would walk us through your chord progressions on your verse. Because the first thing that hit me when I listened to this song was the hook, the Wake Up Dreaming.
Right.
But as I listened further on and I listened to your chord progression, I was like, that's wonderful because you're going places that most folk or singer-songwriters don't go. Can you walk us through that chord progression just for the hell of it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it starts off fairly obvious enough. You get the 1 and then goes down to the 6, right? So you got your A to F sharp minor, right? But then the happy weird chord comes in.
What's that one?
Basically, you can call it an A dominant 7th, but there's some other stuff on top. So, I'm sorry, let me call it the right word term, G sharp dominant 7th.
Okay.
So I called it an A, but it's got on top, and at some point I actually figured out the name of it, and I'd forgotten the name of it, and I banged it out. But anyway, so that's the odd chord, and then it goes down to a G7, right, and which brings you right back down to the
one, to the G.
Exactly. Yeah. So it just feels natural coming back. So
it does, and what I like about it is it takes you somewhere else.
Right.
That a normal, regular song is not going to take you. It makes the listener say, "Ooh, what was that?" That's not where I thought he was going to go, but I like where he went.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I find, I'm obsessed with chords and melody and how they work together. A lot of it's from this sunshine pop or whatever you want to call it, stuff that we were talking about before. Again, deceptively simple. If you listen to Laura Nero's, what was that big single she had with the Fifth Dimension?
Bill?
Yeah, whatever that's
Marry
called.
Me, Bill?
Wedding Bell Blues.
Wedding Bell Blues, yeah.
That stuff goes into some really strange places, but it's beautiful, and the melody is carrying you through those shifts that are underneath it. And so I kind of try to weave the melody through. So to me, the melody will anchor. Mm-hmm. You get a little playroom. Okay. If your melody's working, you can kind of move some stuff around underneath, and it can work, and it can do what or the aim is to make it do what you're talking about. Yeah. Kind of bring you somewhere new, you know.
Do you start melodically with your hook or with your chorus, or do you just sort of wander into it more organically from the start?
It varies, but I will tell you this. One thing I'm regimented about is writing. So years ago, it occurred to me that I was like keeping myself awake at night, because I would do what most people do. They kind of wait for the muse, so the muse comes at 9:30 p.m. and I'm like, I can't put this thing down, but I have to get up for work or what, and so I said to myself, you got to stop doing that, because you're making yourself crazy, So what I decided to do is just get up in the morning, and while I'm eating my breakfast, I'll walk around having oatmeal, and crash into the wall with my guitar strapped on, and just kind of start writing, and even if it's junk. It's just practice. It's kind of a
just to get your mind rolling.
Exactly. So what I end up doing is I will push if I'm kind of inspired by it, I will push it to the point where I get an operating verse and a chorus, and the chorus has to have the melody and the basic lyrical idea. And once I get there, I'll put it on my phone as a voice memo, like we were talking about before. And then I'm like, cool. I don't have to sweat it. I don't have to think about it. And then I'll go back to it, and then I'll fill in the blanks. So, but sometimes it's the chorus first. Sometimes the chorus will be in my head before I even pick up an instrument. Or sometimes it's what you said before. You kind of just meander your way through. But the melody always tells me what to do. So once I get like a melodic idea, it'll tell me where it wants to go, and I try to follow it the best I can. So I don't know if that makes sense. It always sounds.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
It sounds esoteric when you describe it.
It really does. So we are here, and we're talking with Brian Larney, and we're in the studios of WBXO up in Hopewell Junction, New York. And what we're going to do now, because we only have how much time we got left?
We have about 3 minutes left. I would love to ask a little bit about you live in Black Rock, down by the water.
Yep.
And that's kind of its whole Connecticut, yes. That's kind of its whole separate music scene. Tell us a little bit about the music scene there and some of the people you play with as a group.
Yeah, it's wonderful down there. I have to say, it's sort of, I've lived there for quite a while, and it's been burgeoning now for the past few years. And there's a strip down there, and there's 5 or 6 clubs, and music every single night. Not a lot singer-songwriter stuff necessarily, so it's a lot of jam and a lot of really, really good players and like that kind of stuff. So I'm not 100% hooked in as much as I'd like to be in that area. So for me, it's more down further west. It's further east, like New Haven and beyond that area. And that's I'm part of a kind of a really cool community there, and it's just amazing. I mean, just the support, the endless array of interaction and constantly working, and gigging and just whatever. But it's great.
So tell us a little bit about the Hope Collective, which is something that you've worked with for a while.
Yeah, this is it's a very cool thing. So I think you guys told me you had Eric Robaska up here.
Yeah,
we did.
So it's the Hope Collective came out of a song idea that he had with Frank Critelli. They wrote it together, and we went to record it, and they asked me to play on it and a bunch of other players, and it sort of evolved into this collective of singer-songwriters, and we've taken it further now, and we've played a couple of shows, and it's just magic. It's like we'll all play each other's songs, and we'll everybody gets their own little part, so we each get to play a song or two in the set, and it's just great. It's just wonderful. Yeah.
Brian Larney, where can people find your music?
BrianLarney.com. I did
B-R-I or Y?
BrianLarney.com. I'm also up, obviously, on all the socials, and you can find my music on all the digital platforms like everybody else.
So your parents had a sense of humor when they chose your first initial to go with your last name?
There's a story in that in and of itself. Actually, Larney is not my actual last name, so it's my mother's maiden name. So they were a little wiser than that. So anyway, we'll get into it some other time.
Well, thank you for being with us, Brian Larney. You have been listening to Acoustic Connection. I'm Dave Goldenberg here with George Malice and Hugh Curtin at the controls here at WBXO. And again, thanks, Brian. And
Thank you, guys. This has been great.
Thanks for coming
we'll
up
be back.
and listening to Acoustic Northeast.